Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of Mind Matters. Before we get stuck into today's message, I just want to thank the people who have watched the episode 3 where we spoke about controlling the uncontrollables. It seems like it hit it off. It hit it off with the people that watched it. They thoroughly enjoyed it. Quite a few shares, quite a few views, quite a few positive messages both on Tiger Stripes platforms and personal messages to myself. So I'm really glad that it did help a little bit. That's the whole point, like I said in the last video of these videos, is to help people. Just want you guys to understand one thing, that these sort of things you can do by yourself. You don't need a lot of guidance. You would need to start reflection. Most people do that by meditation or yoga or those type of things. But you can equally do reflection just by sitting still in a corner and letting things go out of your mind and just sit and reflect. You don't need to go the whole while you meditating and jazz like that. If you want to do it, if you just want to sit quietly, then do that too, whatever helps for you. But once you start reflecting on your own emotions and your own life, you'll be able to identify what you need, what's lacking, what you're doing too much, etc, etc. So on that note, let's get stuck into episode 4. So episode 4 is an important one because it was a crucial thing that I had to learn very early on. I broke my neck in 2008 in May, and today's topic is something that I had to deal with very quickly, and that is understanding that I determine my worth, nobody else. Self-esteem is such a critical thing with people, and people tend to get high levels of self-esteem from outside sources. So validation for good work done, or the sweet words from a lover or a significant other, your father saying he's proud of you, etc, etc. There's so many different ways you can get external thumbs ups, but what is important to understand with this is that your self-worth, you need to determine it, nobody else. Because if you build your foundation on what other people think of you, if that changes, then your self-worth is going to fall flat on its face. And that is where people hit road bumps, where their life starts to spiral out of control because they seek external validation. Stop doing that. Believe in yourself. Even if you fail, that's fine. Believe in yourself. Push your own engine. Be your own diesel. Because if you do that, then nobody can take your self-worth away. And that is important, because in 2008, I was an 18-year-old strapping young lad. By come halfway through the year, I was minus 20 kgs. I couldn't lift up my arms. I looked like a skeleton, and I was in a wheelchair. I did not look sexy at all. And that played a huge role in making me feel really awful, because I was no longer this epitome of what society expects an 18-year-old boy to be. Until I realized, screw that. I'm still alive. I'm exactly the same, minus the fact that I can't walk. So why do I need to get external validation from other people? It's very hard, because being in a wheelchair, people tend to think you cannot do things. You cannot achieve. You're a token. You are inadequate. There's so many adjectives you can use to describe a person in a wheelchair, what society thinks of them. And this is important, because if you speak to the significant others in my life, they will attest to the fact that I hate being called an inspiration. Why am I an inspiration? Because I'm in a wheelchair and I get up and do stuff. What is that any different to an able-bodied person? Minus the fact that they're not paralyzed. There's no difference. I think we need to stop doing that to people. Stop putting people on pedestals because they do something miraculous. It's not miraculous. I'm carrying on with my life. I'm still alive. That is the normal thing to do. That is what you're supposed to do, is carry on with your life. And because of the fact that I have a high level of self-worth and I believe in myself wholeheartedly, I'm able to do that. My ability to achieve the dreams that I have is solely based on the fact that I believe in myself, because that's where it starts. Then all the other things come in, my support structures, my education, my access to opportunities, and the list goes on and on. So remember this. There's no easy way to say this. Just start believing in yourself. Even if you fail. Failure is part of life. But learn to fail forward. And what I mean by that is when you make a mistake or when you screw something up, make sure that when you do it again, you don't. And that is, I mean, it's pretty much down to common sense. If you make a mistake and you fail at something and you want to do it again, learn the lessons and then do it again. And keep doing it until you get it right. That's what I believe failing forward means. That you take what you have, you make a mistake, but you fall forward doing it, not backwards. Fall forward by failing. So yeah, guys, I hope this helps. I hope in this time of the pandemic and the lockdowns and everybody is dealt in their self-worth that you have gained something from this video. Again, please share far and wide, do all the things that people are supposed to do with videos like this. Scream it from the rooftops. Thanks for joining us for episode 4 of Mind Matters. We'll see you soon.